I come from Zimbabwe. I'm working with an organization called Women Farmers Association.
I'm also from Zimbabwe, and I work at the University of Zimbabwe in the Institute of Environmental Studies.
Zimbabwe is just undergone a land reform program which gave access to land to a lot of women as compared to what has been there. So we then wanted to see what were the social impacts of the women who have access to land and economic impact, but also the political impact of the land.
I think that in Zimbabwe, there's, since colonial times, there's been wars fought, or liberation wars fought, and the main thing was land. People were fighting for the land because they were dispossessed of the land during colonial times. The majority of the population were put into what was then called tribal trust lands, which were in the least fertile and with the lowest rainfall, unproductive areas, and now they're overpopulated. And then the better agricultural potential areas were the white commercial farmers, just a few of them, and this land was very much underutilized. You know, a lot of rioting and land invasions. But then, after several months, this was formalized or normalized by the government with the launching of the fast-track land reform program.
There were a number of findings, but I want to say one of the maybe surprising one that we found was that lots of women went for the Jambanja, you know, the invasions, with men, and it took a long time before the land was allocated to them, like 18 months. So in the process, some women went back, and only a few managed to get the land. And those few who managed to get the land, after having a settlement letter offered to them in their names, the husbands then came in and said, I will not want to come and stay on the land that is in your name. The husbands were refusing to go with them on the land. So that was quite surprising to us. We would have thought that the women who fought for the land would want to own the land on themselves. And the other point that came out was that women said land is food, land is dignity, and land is economic empowerment. So those are some of the things that came out when women were presenting. One who talked about dignity said, at least now I have somewhere to be buried from. If you are looking for me, you know where to find me.
So these women were determined, and they would go every time and push, and in the end they were allocated the land and they got it. So that was quite interesting. Just the guts of the women and the perseverance in a male-dominated environment. In Zimbabwe at the moment, there really is no secure tenure. The most secure, perhaps, is the communal land, or communal tenure, where the farmers have usufruct rights. Freehold is the least secure. So, in a situation and an environment like that, one of the ways of keeping that land is by producing. Active utilising the land and being seen to be productive. We
realized that just having land alone, access to land alone, will not economically empower women. It will not change the status of a woman. So we recommend that this be coupled with resources, access to resources, access to training, access to information, access to finance, and access to inputs. So that is one of the recommendations that we came out with. Women who are working with land issues at different levels and from different sectors and different countries. But there's one thing that runs there, that we have a common problem. So I think whether they address it at grassroots level or at a middle class level, or whatever, it is important, the work that they are doing, because the issues of gender apply across the board. Yeah.